Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Focus series, a podcast channel by the American University of Armenia's Media Lab. My name is Skylar Yoder, and today I'm speaking with Narek Ghazaryan, the Chief Communications Officer at AUA. We will be discussing the university's Media Lab project. Hi, Narek.
Hi, Skylar. It's a pleasure to be here. Actually, it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to finally not publicly, but in this platform, talk about our new Media Lab. So I look forward to an awesome conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So to get us started, could you provide an overview of the new Media Lab at AUA?
Sure. First of all, let me just kind of comment on our space that we're filming this podcast in. So this is what will be the actual physical space of the Media Lab. So I think according to our floor plans, we are located in the hallway. So this space, and hopefully sooner rather than later, will be transformed and transitioned into the university's official Media Lab. The Media Lab is a project that we received a grant from USAID ASHA project, which is the American Universities and Hospitals Abroad program, which for the past 30 years has supported the university through various competitive grants that we apply to every year. And the Media Lab was one of them. So in 2021, we were granted a little bit over $813,000 actually to establish a state-of-the-art Media Lab facility in our university. And we chose this physical space because it's in the heart of our university, in our main building. And this is the first of its kind, not just in Armenia, but in the region, to have this sort of facility connected to a university. And through this Media Lab, which we'll, I'm sure, get into the conversation, I don't want this to be a monologue, it has a really kind of an important mission, which is to enhance media capacity, not only in our university, but also in the country. And I'll be happy to kind of discuss that a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of getting more into that, what is the purpose? What are you looking to do? Like, what are some of the main objectives of the Media Lab once it's established?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the Media Lab project came almost as natural to us because through our undergraduate program in English and Communications, we already offer media courses to our students, media in society, and so on. We have some very distinguished faculty that teach all those courses. So with this Media Lab, what we're trying to do is what we will be doing is really providing the actual physical space, like a laboratory for our students who are interested in the field to have access to for various different facilities to have a more hands-on practice into day-to-day academic kind of classes and things like that. So the first purpose is internal, so enhancing and providing our students and our faculty who are interested in media to have access to an actual laboratory. The second one is the purpose of the Media Lab is to serve the Office of Communication in all of our different initiatives that we have to promote the university. So the space, the equipment, the team that we're hiring for the Media Lab is going to serve the university's needs in its promotional to the public. So the various different promo videos and things like that we do will be done in the Media Lab using Media Lab facilities. And the third kind of objective is to enhance the capacity of journalism in the country. So this is going to become a public space in a lot of ways for us to hold different webinars, different seminars, and different workshops to help local journalists. So it's both internal and external. So internal, serving our office, serving our students and our faculty, but also creating the space where we're able to really work with local journalists and media agencies in supporting them within their capacity in whatever they think is needed and whatever we think is actually could support that.
That's fantastic. So in terms of the equipment and facilities you mentioned, obviously we've got this physical space that's in process. What kind of equipment are you looking at acquiring for these journalists and for these students and faculty to make use of?
So the grant is allowing us to physically renovate this place to turn it into a media laboratory, but it's also allowing us to procure quite a bit of equipment. So it's a few $100,000 will be invested in buying state-of-the-art equipment that is going to allow us to fill the mission of the Media Lab. So the Media Lab, the physical space, will have 8 rooms. So everything is considered as a multi-purpose space. So that means the space could be transitioned in however it needs to be. If it needs to be a classroom, it needs to be a workshop space, an audio room, or a video room, for example. So those 8 spaces will have various different equipment. So there's things that are more stable, I guess, that are not as functional, which is, for example, our post-production space, which will have computers, monitors that will allow people to learn and utilize the equipment for post-production. We will have a big multi-purpose room that's for classroom space and seminars and things like that. And that space is going to have an audio and a video room directly connected to it. So the space is going to be quite smart, actually, in a sense that everything that will happen in that room, as far as audio and video, will be controlled and maintained from the side rooms, which are the audio and the video rooms. So those rooms will be equipped with state-of-the-art, whatever is needed for that specific space. And the equipment that we're buying, and we're in the process of procuring those equipment, and I keep using the word procurement because that's a huge component of this grant. Is also the university has many years of experience of following procurement procedures. We've had a procurement manual. We've had policies. We have policies in this. But because the grant was so hefty in commodities, purchasing commodities, this grant also allowed us to really look at our policies and make sure that we were incorporating straightening more our policies to ensure that we're following the American best practices in a lot of ways in procuring a lot of those equipment to our space. And the stuff that we're bringing really, not only does it not exist in Armenia, but some of them doesn't even exist in the region. So that's also one way of us as an institution being in the forefront in all of this and bringing all this new equipment, new ways of doing things to really support our colleagues, also to come learn from that, B, for us to have the best equipment possible for whatever we're trying to do.
Absolutely. So using that equipment, what types of media will be produced? It sounds like a little bit of everything, but if you could get specific on kind of some of the things you imagine being produced in the Media Lab.
Sure, absolutely. So this Media Lab is positioned in the American University of Armenia, and it's going to serve the mission and the vision of this university. So the content that's going to come out of this Media Lab is going to be content of the university, first and foremost. So it's going to allow us to do whatever we do currently, but do it better, in a sense, having more equipment and better talent that is going to allow that. So we're going to continue promoting our university. The entire university, in a lot of sense, is a Media Lab. There's so much content in this university. This university has been around for 30 years. We have very strong academic programs. We have a lot of research that happens, very good research that happens in different parts of this university. So the Media Lab is going to allow us to promote that in the best way possible to the public. But the Media Lab is also going to allow us, or the equipment is also going to allow us to do things like this, like podcast channel, which I'm very excited to launch the Focus series with this specific podcast. This is the space where we're going to have various different conversations, faculty to faculty, student to student, faculty to expert, student to expert, conversations on the various components of our university. So this is the platform that we want to use to have an addition to what we do now. Because right now, a lot of our relationship with the audience is via our newsroom, our weekly newsletter that we share, which is news coming out of the university. So this is going to give us a little bit more of an informal platform to have different conversations about various different things that are of interest to our faculty, to our students, but also to our university, but also conversations that will help us kind of share the content that is within the university to the general public. So we're hoping to take some of this really important research that happens in our university, be able to translate that into more simple language, and be able to disseminate that to the general public.
That's great. So in terms of timing, when are we looking at the Media Lab launching?
Sure. Well, we are all anxiously waiting for that also. So in a lot of ways, we have launched the Media Lab already because we've branded it. Soon, YouTube channel will be ready. The website is in the process. We've branded the whole thing. We've purchased the equipment already. So we have started utilizing different components of the Media Lab, but the official lab will be open once the physical space is ready.
So for anyone that might be listening that's within the AUA community, how can they get involved with the Media Lab either at this stage or later in the process?
Yeah, absolutely. So for AUA folks, for AUA friends and colleagues in our community, they are starting to see a lot more about the Media Lab. So by launching this focus series, this is going to be another really cool way for our community to get involved. We are looking for our members from our community to come to us to be a host on this series, to pitch ideas of conversations for us to have. And hopefully very soon, we're going to be doing a community info session to share the progress we've made so far with the Media Lab, because we got this grant, like I mentioned, a few years back. And all of the work we've been doing has been in the background, trying to set it up to where we are today to get ready for that construction bidding package, that open call that we're going to have soon. But now we are in a space where we are able to share a lot of the floor plans are finalized now. Now that the branding is done, we have kind of a strategy in place of what kind of content and things like that. And our College of Social Sciences and Humanities will be hiring a faculty member that's going to be the academic coordinator of the Media Lab. So from an operational perspective, the Media Lab is going to be kind of operated through the Office of Communication to make sure the physical spaces are working, the equipment is in place, and things like that. But the academic connection is going to be done through a faculty member in that college, working with all of the different faculty, all the different colleges that the university has, to integrate the academics into this space. Because as head of communications, I can ensure that the space is functional, it's working properly. Our team is going to be utilizing the cool equipment for the promotion of the university, but the connection to the academic is going to be done through through a member of our faculty, and hopefully that faculty member will be joining the university in the next semester or so.
So last question for you, at least for now. Where can people, whether they're in the AUA community or outside of it, find more information about the Media Lab?
Yeah, absolutely. So to follow a university's official channels, whether it's our newsroom, our social media, and our internal, the emails that we send out to our internal community. So we are hoping to have our YouTube channel ready to go, hosting this specific podcast. And the ones to follow, the website is in the making. So slowly but surely, that information is going to become more available to our internal community also, and like their ways of kind of getting involved. But again, we are right now setting the foundation for this space. So I encourage our faculty, our students, our community to come to the Office of Communications if they have any ideas, if they want to learn more about the Media Lab, to come ask, comment, suggest, because this is going to be the time where we're able to incorporate all of this as we're drafting the strategy for it. Again, we didn't want to do all of this when the space was ready, saying here's exactly what it looks like. There's still time to have an input in all of this in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I can personally attest to the friendliness of the Office of Communications. So
we always have fruit and something sweet on our desk.
Indeed. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. And like my last comment here is that I wanted to just bring up this very specific point that this Media Lab is really a place where we're going to be incorporating a lot of best practices, American best practices, we call them, in journalism, so there's plenty of them out there, but we really have identified three key, we call them APBs, American Best Practices, and that's objectivity, open-mindedness, and veracity. So those are this is a key component of the greater strategy that we have, but through that strategy, those are the best practices that we're trying to kind of incorporate and bring awareness to through this Media Lab space. So that was my last kind of comment I wanted to make on that.
Okay, perfect.
Well, it was a pleasure chatting with you, Skylar, about our Media Lab. We've been very heavily engaged in all of this process, so I'm just honestly thrilled to be able to use this Media Lab equipment today and be sitting in the space that one day will become the Media Lab.
Yeah, it's exciting. You can almost see it when you look around what it's going to be like versus the floor plans and the empty space here. It's going to come together.
I hope so too.
Thank you for tuning in to the inaugural episode of the Focus Series, a podcast by the American University of Armenia's Media Lab.